You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Under the Gun After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Under the Gun After Show.
All right then. Hello, Under the Gun fans. We are doing another recap here for you tonight, episode 12, Superhero Fashion. I'm your host tonight, Virginia Reyna Dunne.
Hey guys, it's Emma Kay.
What's up? Amanda Fields here.
Hey, I'm Stef Z.
Hi, Michelle Uberreste.
Awesome. I'm liking this music. Good pick, Steve.
Dude, this is one of my favorite songs ever. Like 2 years ago, one of my friends, I had her for my birthday, we choreographed a dance. I'm not gonna do it. No, it was like one of the best birthday presents ever. I was like, I want you to choreo, because I'm like that cheeseball that like at my wedding wants to like come out doing like a choreographed dance. Like, yeah, that's me.
Nice.
So that just made me smile, that song. Thanks, Steven.
That's amazing.
Love it. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it because we do have Sam calling in a little bit. So we are just going to try to go through a little bit really quick. So we had Tim Gunn come out, and we know it's going to be superhero fashion. They get to meet at Meltdown Comics, and they meet Court Lane, who is the VP of animation for Marvel Studios.
Marvel
and
TV.
Marvel TV. Thanks, Seth. And so they show them all the different superheroes that they have. They have these really big, cool cutouts, and they kind of give a little bit of a backstory of each one, and then they get to pick which one. Steph, which was your favorite that you saw?
My favorite superhero, and again, I feel like a quick little anecdote. It's going to be real quick, I promise. But when I had my line, Warner Brothers approached me and said, your line's very superhero-like. And they actually licensed me the DC Comics. So I did a superhero line for them. And I'm a stupid superhero fan. I have like Kryptonian tattoo on my arm, like Superman font. So I love superheroes, and I'm more of a DC person than Marvel. And Hawkeye used to be a DC comic, so I'm gonna have to say that he was my favorite one to pick because I know a little bit more about him.
I did not know he converted to Marvel.
He converted. He used to be DC, and it was pretty cool. Like I got all the art for like Superman and Batman. Like it was crazy. It's a whole nother
it's cool
show.
That Hawkeye is an Avenger. I like
yes,
that.
but he's also a traitor.
Oh,
Just saying. I mean, I'm not. Avengers one of the best movies ever made. I'll give it to you, but
I do love.
Anyway, so I pick Hawkeye, and I pick Sam. That wasn't Sam. That was Asha.
That was Asha.
All right.
It was Sam.
That was Sam.
It was Sam. I was right.
Asha got Falcon. Amanda, who was your
the
favorite?
wings.
Well, I don't really know that much about these particular superheroes in this episode.
You can just go by looks. They look cool.
But I did like Gamora. Because she was a very dangerous woman.
Yeah.
Kind of like you.
Yeah.
I'm not that dangerous. I'm living vicariously through Gamora.
All right.
And Michelle, what about you?
I liked Falcon. I totally would have picked Falcon.
See, I liked Captain Marvel, the one that Shan picked. What about you, Emma?
I think I like Hawkeye too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with.
I actually
Sam's
made a
choice.
Hawkeye shirt too. Like I had a big Hawkeye.
You're gonna have to bring those in. Do you have any left?
And
I do.
I think it made me fall in love with it even more after just hearing him speak.
Sam?
Yeah, and hearing his story and his background and why he chose it. So it was like.
Yeah, he was having a little bit of a meltdown. I felt so bad for him because, we all love him so much here. And throughout the whole episode, we kind of see more and more backstory of, our giddy little sassy Sam not being quite so sassy.
It's kind of funny how, like, when Natalia would cry, we'd be like, oh, come on, drama. And when, like, Sam got upset, we're like, poor Sam, is he okay? Like, does he need a hug? Like, I want to give him a hug through the screen.
Virtual hug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Very true.
He said he was having feelings of malaise.
Malaise.
That word was too big for my vocabulary.
A down day.
I was all like, what'd he say? And you guys were all like, malaise. And I was like, Still don't know.
You mean mayonnaise? What?
Feeling a little creamy.
Is that another superhero?
Oh man.
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so Sam ends up picking Hawkeye, Oscar picks Gamora, Shan picks Captain Marvel, and Asha picks Falcon. And she said she liked him because he was, you know, kind of like a renegade, the first black superhero, and she really felt connected with that. You know, and I thought it was, I just thought she, you know, she did a really good job when we see her at Mood picking out these really cool fabrics. It really, you know, I really just liked, you know, where she was going with that, because it seemed a little bit not where she normally goes, kind of, with the flowiness of the fabric. Maybe that was just me.
I was really impressed by Asha this time.
I was too.
Like
I think it was like super edited version of what she kind of normally goes for, and I think like she really thought it out and it worked.
It did.
And
Well, we'll get to the ending. I don't want to spoil it for
It
anyone.
was made very well,
Michelle's
too.
good at not spoiling the ending for any of us.
Yeah, I know.
She keeps it all in.
Best
I'm a little
secret
distracted.
keeper
I'm
ever.
not gonna lie, I wasn't really paying attention to what you guys were saying because I'm a little distracted that we skipped over the whole fact that Tim Gunn had his own superhero.
I totally forgot about
Oh,
that.
yeah. And he, like, put on the Iron Man suit in one of his comics.
And he said it was for crimes against fashion.
I know. Like, I want a comic. I want to be an action figure more than anything in the world.
That can probably be accomplished.
Yeah, we
on
can
it.
figure that out.
All right, keep going.
Okay, so
For
they
the next
said
birthday.
they don't, it's
October 4th.
not supposed to look costumey. They have 2 days for this challenge, and they had 30 minutes to sketch while they were in the comic book store. And then they go to Mood, and they have a $250 budget and 30 minutes to shop. And I don't know if it was just me, but it seemed like they had no time in Mood. I feel like they were just maybe scrambling a little bit, but it could have just been that they only showed like 2 glimpses of them at Mood.
Yeah, it could have been boring, too.
Yeah,
Because there's only
everybody's
4 of
only
them, so
4,
there's
yeah.
a lot less drama everywhere. So maybe it was just like a little boring. That's why they like cut to.
No one was fighting over fabric this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all had different directions they were going in.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Okay, so then we move to the workroom, and you know, Tim tells them that they're going to have 6 hours today, the whole day tomorrow, and that they're going to meet with their mentors later. And so they have the whole day to kind of, you know, create a little bit, because their models won't even be until the next day, which I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit more challenging when you don't get to see it on your model right away. Michelle, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's super horrible. We had a 2-day challenge for the steampunk, and it was like kind of the same deal. We had like a whole day to work, and you're kind of like, well, I could finish this jacket today, but I really would like to fit it on my model. It's a setback for sure.
Yeah. And so right away when they got in there, you know, Shan was saying how he was cutting up the fabric, you know, the leather, and kind of just deconstructing, and it looked really, really cool. But, you know, when he finally decided to use that other fabric inside, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be something really awesome.
Well, at first when I saw that cut up fabric by itself on the forum, I was not excited.
No?
I thought I was really just kind of bored with it. I was like, really? You're just going to rip up some fabric? That's it? But then it came together nicely.
It totally came together. In the beginning, I was a little bit like, where is he going with this too? Like, I like the idea, the edginess, the badass of a superhero. Like, I get it, but it was a little bit to me like, if it's, you know what I mean? Like, it looked like it was bowing at the bottom a little bit, like poofy, and I was like, what's he doing with this? But then it was just because he was going to take it on and off later. You know what I mean? But
Well, I think Shan's process is like a little more organic. Like he went in there and they're like, at his critique, asked him if he had a sketch, and he's like, no, not really. I just, you know, looked at my superhero, got inspired, messed around with some fabric, and it kind of just comes together and like develops as he's working on it. So I think it works for him.
Actually, that's a good point you bring up. I don't think I've really seen him sketch in any of the episodes.
And if he does, it's like completely different from what he ends up with.
really,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. They kind of gave him a little bit of slack for that, though. It seemed like when they came in, they were like, "You don't have a sketch," and he's like, "Well, I was kind of just playing around, and I wanted to hear your feedback." And I felt like, I mean, maybe I was the only one that read it this way, but I felt like they were kind of almost saying that was a little bit negative, that he didn't have his own concrete idea almost. But I kind of like that he just was kind of going with it. I don't know.
I think sometimes when you have a sketch and you just commit to it, then you're a little inflexible if something happens. So I think you know, maybe he was getting a little. I think they were surprised.
Right.
They were kind of like, "What? You haven't got a sketch?" But different people
Yeah.
work different ways, and it's obviously works for him. He's won a bunch of challenges, and he's in the top 4. So
And most of the time, the sketch is not even anything like the final design. So what does it really matter? Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of like getting your thoughts out there, but more of it is just getting your nerves and like just clearing your head, so that way you could do the real product.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we also see this is kind of where Sam starts opening up about, you know, how he's just, you know, having this huge emotional breakdown kind of, you know, we see him in the corner reading the comic book and he's really not doing anything. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, poor Sam, like you need to get in there and start working because Oscar said he needs 2 days, you know, like how much time are you going to need?
Well, it was interesting too because Sam was also saying in the beginning that he didn't relate too much to superheroes. So he was saying that, you know, I thought, like, him reading the comic, to me, didn't seem such, like, a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, he really wanted to, like, find something to get inspired, because 2 days is normally a lot longer than what they get. So I wasn't too worried about that, and then, like, you totally saw, like, the turn. Like, you could see his mood, the way he was standing, everything. It was just kind of like, uh-oh, he needs a hug.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really know how long he was sitting in that room for. I mean, sometimes they edit it to make it look like he was in there for, like, 2 hours, but he was probably sitting there for like 15 minutes and then went back to work.
Right.
And just made it more dramatic.
Yeah, I think it was just because, you know, they showed Asha saying how she was so concerned and, you know, she could tell something was going on with him and then, you know, he wasn't doing anything. Well, it's not that he wasn't doing anything, but, you know.
He definitely had to come back up from the down in the depths.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when you get in that, like, really emotional place, you need to talk to somebody. And luckily, Mondo, you know, he's such a good mentor. He just, you know, knew exactly what to say and how to kind of pump him up.
Yeah, he kind of turned his words around to be powerful rather than, like, paralyzing, you know?
Well,
I love Mondo.
Mondo's really inspirational himself, so it was good that they could work together and be on the same team.
Sweet.
Oh, Mondo and Sam.
I know, love them. Is there anything else that kind of stood out to you guys?
Yes, when I first saw Sam's mannequin or form, I noticed that it didn't seem like there was anything really done to it at all when all the other designers had more work done. And he had kind of just a piece of muslin just pinned on him with like one pin. And I thought it was just kind of there. And then I realized he was doing a one-shoulder top. So then I realized he had sort of started to work on it. But it just didn't look like it had gotten very far.
You were a little nervous.
Yeah, exactly. I was nervous for Sam.
Yeah, well, when I saw all the fabrics that he picked out, though, I was like, okay, he's going to be good, because these are really cool fabrics, and everybody else was kind of in a more...
He picked out superhero blue. How can you go wrong? You can't go wrong with superhero blue.
Also known as royal blue.
No, superhero.
It's different. Okay. It's a different
Same
shade.
difference.
Okay. Maybe it's a little bit brighter.
It's a little bit stronger.
Yes. Oh, I do have a question for Michelle. I was wondering if you were on the show during this challenge, what would you have done?
I wish I would have been on the show for this challenge. It's like perfect for me. I really don't know what I would have done. I think, you know, I would have... I'm very mechanical in the way that I design. I kind of do nail down my sketches right away. So, like, for me, that's my time-consuming part. So, and, you know, I went in, like, thinking, like, oh, yeah, I have all these predetermined ideas in my head, and I didn't really use any of them, because once you get in there, like, you get really inspired. You, like, if you focus on the challenge, like, it takes you to where you need to be.
Do you have a favorite superhero?
Of all time? I don't know.
Oh my God, I wish you would have been on this challenge. Oh, I would have loved to see what you made.
I think this was my favorite challenge.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't more spandex.
I'm glad there wasn't.
I love you so much, Virginia. I really do.
I'm sorry.
If they would have done spandex, that person would have probably gotten eliminated.
I was watching a lot of Toddlers and Tiaras before I came in here.
And you had just admitted that?
It's kind of like a guilty pleasure.
Oh, man.
When you know they do like the theme of the day or whatever, and it's a lot of spandex always.
When Tim Gunn said that was a crime against fashion.
Yeah. It's always a crime against fashion.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I did remember there was one thing that I really liked when Oscar was in the workroom. You know, he was saying all of this build up to this whole finale. It's kind of like Pirates against Hunger Games against Chernobyl. And I don't even know how those all go together because one is fictional, but
It was a stretch. It was a stretch. Poor Oscar. It was a stretch, man.
Okay, but can I just say, like, it's a superhero challenge, like, Oscar definitely had to make a cape, right?
Well, we knew that was coming. Yes.
He was just waiting for the day he could make a cape.
I mean, I don't
Oscar.
know. He made a cloak.
A cloak, yeah.
But
it wasn't a cape. It was
Right,
almost
yeah.
a cape.
But it was awesome. Like, I know that it's kind of weird, but it could have been really cool. Like, you could see some people, like, she was right. What was it,
There
Jamie
was kind of
Alexander?
spandex underneath there.
No.
It was like sequency, like weird.
I liked the coat way better than what was under it, and I agree that she should have just kept the coat on.
Yes.
Yeah, she should have kept the coat on.
Like with a.
I like
You like the underneath?
I loved it. It was amazing.
It was like
I didn't
Superstar
like it.
Dracula.
It was like my favorite thing of Oscars that he's ever made.
I thought it sucked.
It looked like it had wings from the top, like the top hat wings. I didn't like how it was sitting around the hips.
It was
the peplum?
exaggerated.
Yeah, I think it was
peplum?
just, it was more like high, it was like high fashion. It was elevated. It was
I
like,
didn't think it was high fashion.
I loved it.
I think it was Dracula.
No, I totally agree with you, Michelle.
Halloween.
But I didn't like it. Like, I agree, it's definitely high fashion. Like, you could definitely see that walking the runway, and it would be a cool collection if there was something out of there.
And they had fangs.
I like the pants. I think
But
that
it
you could
was-
really rock the
No,
pants.
man.
with
it was
something.
weird though, because she kind of had this curly hair and then
Yeah.
like this really awesome like slick outfit, and like it went with the cloak, but then not like the underneath.
I could get on board with the cloak. I can get on board with the cloak.
I
Get
liked them
on board.
both.
The rest of it for me
I
was
liked it together on, not separate.
especially her makeup. And at one point when she was sitting there, it looked like she almost had like blood drooling off her lip, like her lipstick smudged or something. Like I don't know. I would be scared. I'd be scared to see that in the middle
But
of the night.
I
Okay, so-
liked. Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
one more thing about the workroom. I liked when Nick and Tim came to talk to Oscar, and Nick actually said, "Treat the suit as your gown," so he wouldn't be as afraid of it. I
Yeah.
like that advice.
No, that was some good advice from
Yeah.
Yeah.
you. Okay, so sorry we did jump ahead just a little
That's
bit.
all right.
So we had the regular guests, or the regular judges that we always have, and then we had special guest Jamie Alexander, who was from Thor. I loved Thor.
I haven't seen the new
She was from
story
Thor: The
yet.
Dark World. Yeah, the newest one I think she was.
Yeah, no,
It's amazing.
I just saw Thor at Disneyland actually.
Wait, the
like
new
2
Thor?
weeks ago.
the real Thor.
Oh my God.
Chris Hemsworth, come on, he was
Okay,
having
can I make a
twins.
confession?
Yes.
About 2 years ago, I was driving in Hollywood. We were going to a club, and I almost ran over Thor in front of AV. Like, no kidding. I didn't even know it was him.
Chris Hemsworth Thor?
Yes, he was crossing, and I almost hit him. And
Thank God it was almost.
yeah, well, you know, I would have been on TMZ. But I was like, hold on, back up.
For the TMZ for the wrong reason.
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should go and say hi or something. But it was so embarrassing. Like, he totally, like, just crossed in front of my car. And I was like, really, dude? Just because you're Thor doesn't mean
I would've
you're
braked.
like, hit my car out of the way.
I love Thor.
He thought he could still move faster than
See,
that.
it's not one of my favorite superheroes.
It's
Really, but
Like
it's so
I think
funny.
he's good, and I think it was a great movie. But the whole like,
I like the hammer.
I like
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw this movie last night, Raid 2. Oh my God, did anyone ever see that movie?
Raid?
Raid. It was like
Like
crazy,
the
and
bug
this
spray?
hammer girl. Yeah, and this girl like tears people apart with hammers. It was crazy, like real
Oh.
hammers. It was really
Was
gross.
it brutal?
But yes, it was. No,
my type
I
of-
like Thor. I like the movie. Like I think it was really good. But like,
he
like
just
what is
doesn't
like?
have any powers
But
except
Thor,
the hammer.
It's not Superman.
But it's
Yeah.
all. But Superman was so boring. Did you see the last one? Oh my God! Please, it was so boring. But Thor had like, Loki
Man of
had like
Steel.
this.
Man of Steel.
Who
That movie,
cares?
that was a great movie.
Oh
He
God, that
a-
was so
Dude,
boring.
no superhero
And then
movie will
Amy
ever beat
Adams,
Superman 2.
blah. No. Are you kidding? Well, I didn't see
Superman
the second
2.
one. I saw the first one.
No,
and that
like
one
back
was
in the day
horrible.
before they've tried to remake every superhero movie.
Oh, okay,
Like back in the
that's
day,
fine.
Superman 2, boom.
This
Lex
has become
Luthor, boom.
superhero fight 2014 in here.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Sorry.
Getting back to Project Runway.
Yes. Under the
I mean,
gun.
Under the Gun. Excuse
Getting
me. I
back
don't even know. I'm just
to
thinking
getting
Chris
back to
Hemsworth.
Jamie Alexander,
Yes.
who was in Thor,
Yes.
who was
The Dark World.
yes, who she looked pretty fashionable tonight. I get the tie-in that she was in a superhero movie, but when she first started talking, I was a little bit nervous, like what's her opinion going to be? But she had some good stuff to say. She said
yeah,
more
she's
than
an actress.
construction.
She gets probably put in high fashion stuff all the time.
I liked
Yeah.
her
You
You know?
outfit that she was
like, I
wearing.
would
Yeah,
have
she
worn
looked
that in
good.
Paris. Yeah, she was gorgeous. I
Yeah.
loved
Yeah,
her.
she's really gorgeous on, you know, away from the movies.
I'm gonna have to look up what else she's been in because she seemed like she would be good. Like the fact that she's in Thor: The Dark World, of course she would have been in other stuff.
Yeah.
Was she British or am I making that up?
I think you might be making
I
that
think
up.
you're making that up.
She looks like she would play a British woman. I don't know why. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Anyway.
I digress.
We all
Okay,
take it. Yeah, and you
so-
just interrupted our superhero
I
fight to
know.
say, is she British?
I'm excited. I'm very excited to
I'm just
tell.
messing with you.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so we already talked about Oscar.
Yeah, it was really cool though. The one thing that they did say is there was no winner this episode. There was going to be before.
There's no winner.
There was no winner.
Whoever moves on just gets to go to the finale.
The
That's what they win.
The prize is going to the finale. Though.
Yeah. There's no like $5,000 thing this week.
Okay, so then after that we see Asha, and I actually loved the way that this all flowed. I thought it was really light and delicate, but still the pants were kind of badass.
I didn't like it at all.
What?
Tell us why.
It was just, it was missing something. You know, as they said, Asha is very edgy with, you know, the pieces that she's created. And this one, I felt like because she went after construction, it was too simple. Like for a superhero, it was boring. It wasn't fierce. Like I wouldn't be scared of that outfit. Like it didn't have any edge to it that I would expect from her.
She even said on her, like at the very beginning, you know, she said like what inspired her and, you know, how she really wanted to try this chiffon out. And, you know, I just thought it had a lot of meaning behind it. I guess she was talking about that in the workroom though. I
really, really liked it because her superhero had some good wings working on. So, I mean, my notes I wrote, hot love, tail, wings, hot pants, slits on knees. That's a star for me.
I have to say, I was not an Asha fan until this episode. I changed my mind and I loved it. This was the first thing where I was really like, oh my God, Asha, where have you been all my life? This is great.
And are you ready for this?
Yeah, I think so.
Amanda, this is for you.
Okay.
Her model enhanced that outfit so much.
Allie
the
Marie.
way she had, like, she had a tough look. Like, the way, I really, like, it to me,
I agree.
she wore it. It stood out. There you go.
High five.
High five for your model.
Model
friends.
high five.
Michelle.
Well, I think, you know, you said it was too simple, but I think that Asha tends to kind of go overboard with the details and stuff sometimes. So I think this was good. Like, she edited, like, less is more. You have too many ideas. Like, it's not, you don't have a focal point. Then, you know, I thought she did a good job of simplifying.
And the pleating on the top was perfection. I thought she really got it right, and I liked when the model turned around and the back flowed like wings, like a falcon, because it's Falcon, the superhero.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing that I liked on it. But, you know, at the same time, she has to remember the challenge that she's in, which is a superhero. So you expect automatically, you know, that fierceness in the look, which I didn't see.
However, they were told not to make a costume.
Yeah, it was supposed to be inspired by.
I understand, but at the same time, you know, aside from the cut on the knees of the pants, I didn't really see anything that, to me, resembled a superhero, someone with more than just a cute outfit.
Okay, so it wasn't strong enough for you, but I think it was strong enough for me.
Okay, so next we have Sam, and, you know, he had these awesome blue pants that were all kinds of spots, and then this great top that was just really flowy, and he painted it, and I just loved it. I thought it was really fun and youthful, and I loved that he gave his girl a fro.
Yeah,
I like the fro too. I thought it was rebellious too, and I gotta say, when I saw him in Mood picking polka dots, I was like, wait, polka dots for superhero? I was so like questioning that move, but he made it work, man.
Polka dots for Hawkeye?
Yeah, I didn't get it right away, but he made it work.
This was
I think the blue helped it.
This was a lot like another dress that he made in an earlier episode that had a similar top half to it, and I think it had like
the plaid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very close to that, but I think he really made it very interesting with the pants. I mean, at first I was like, really like, they looked more like pajama pants at first.
Kind of like harem pants.
Yes, harem pants, but the way he styled it with the afro and he put the look together with, I think my favorite part were the shoulders and the straps on the back. That's what made it superhero to me.
Mm-hmm. They were like little mini capes dangling.
Yeah, I like the straps in the back as well, and the art that he had, which brought out the darkness.
The way he painted the fabric on the back.
Yeah, but aside from that, I think, you know, to me, him and Asha were the weakest ones out of all four. So I kind of like feel like he went in the same direction as Asha. He was a little bit confused in the outfit. I'm guessing, you know, because he didn't really know what to make, and the whole superhero, he had to get acquainted with the stories. But it was like a little too cutesy for me.
I think it's very Sam, but I don't know how superhero it is for me.
Yeah.
I think like he struggled a lot in the workroom, you know, with getting teased and kind of going to his dark place with his superhero, and I don't know if that helped or hurt him, because I didn't see him ever like 100% recover, turn that emotion around and use it for inspiration. Right,
because as we saw, he was still very emotional on the runway.
Right.
But I thought it was a happy outfit. Like
totally.
Jamie said, like that's the girl you want to hang out with, because you just know you're going to have a good
Confidence,
time
fun,
with her.
yeah.
And mentioning Jamie, I think it was really cool that she supported Sam when Sam came forward and said, I've had a very emotional couple of days creating this outfit, and he started crying on the runway, and Jamie said, it's amazing what happens when you start to open up with what you're going through, because the people you're telling have been through something like that, or they know someone who has.
Right.
So it was really great.
Yeah, she totally took it down a level. She like made it like human, not that she was just a judge, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
she was awesome.
Yeah, she was pretty rad.
I think it was kind of a hard thing for Sam too, because that was even towards the end. I mean, that was way after I left, and we spent so much time together, and he kind of has this facade of happiness, and he's the cute, perfect one, and nobody expects Sam to ever be upset or have a dark place. So I think that he felt like he wasn't really allowed to have that, and finally, like, he was starting to embrace it. So
it's
the happy clown.
Totally applaud that.
Happy clown syndrome.
And
it growing up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
He's 23, right?
Yeah, well, we'll hear from him in just a minute.
Yeah.
So, sorry, we got to get going. Lastly, we had Shan, and I just wrote ridiculous. I loved that it was 2 pieces. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, I really, really loved it. And I actually, like, for me this time, I don't know, man. I thought Oscar was going to go. I was convinced he was going to go. I thought his
Really?
I thought everyone else, I was like, I wrote love for everyone else, and I don't really write that. And for his, I put 2 costumes, sparkly Dracula.
But then there would only be 2 mentors in the finale.
I know, but that was the worst outfit tonight.
But for me, at first, when Shan's model came out, I thought it was kind of cool, but I was like, I'm not that excited. Like, it's just a cool dress. Until she took off that other part of the skirt, and I was like, okay, I like it more now.
I did too. I liked it better after the bottom part came off.
When his outfit came out, I was like, oh, that's the best one all night. And then as soon as she took out, the skirt, I was like, oh, even better. So
okay, so yeah. It won us
I
all over.
automatically knew that he's moving on. It was just, comparing to the other 3, his was the one that you could kind of relate to. It was
but that's
in the middle of being, an outfit that you could wear, but it wasn't too cute, where it was just like generic. So
it came across very strong and like powerful, and
but I felt
totally
like for this show, I mean, of course, the judges are going to respond well to it because it's more sellable. But I felt like it was not as exciting as the other outfits. It was a little bit less of a showstopper.
Really? I mean, I kind of agree with you on that, because the other ones were a little bit more superhero-y.
Yes.
Right. And this was more ready to wear. But that's the thing. These judges have really responded to ready to wear, or, something that's a little bit more mainstream.
But what was that Tarzan hairstyle that he did? She had like a scrunchie on top of her head, and her hair was really messy, like cave woman.
Yeah, she did.
I think it kind of sort of went with the look, but I don't know if it was what they were going for, really. It just ended up looking a little messy.
Everybody was getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we see that the judges, they go back there having a hard time trying to decide between Sam and Asha. And I was really sad when it came down to those 2.
I was sad too. I thought they earned their spots. But then,
Amanda, spit it out.
The big reveal, all 4 designers are going to the finale. No one goes home.
Which is kind of cool, but it's kind of funny because I feel like every time we see the judges like pondering together, whatever we think they're gonna say, they don't say it. And from what I got when they were all together was that they were gonna say that Sam stays and Asha leaves. So when they came out, I was very nervous that they were gonna actually switch that and Sam was gonna go. So I was very excited. And
I think we have Sam on the phone.
Hi, I think you do.
Hi. Oh my gosh, thank you for calling in.
Oh my God, there's like a great chorus in that studio tonight, huh?
Yes.
Hi, ladies. How's it going?
Good. How are you? I want to give you a hug.
I would gladly take it right now. that was well, yeah, I mean, you guys saw, what I sort of talked about on the show, and I got to watch the episode with my family tonight, and it was a good thing to finally get to tell them and to get to share with them. And I'm getting all of these messages on Twitter. I'm getting all of these emails, crazy, like right after the show aired, and I felt a responsibility to say something about that, and I am glad that it touched people and that it's apparently helping people already. So that was pretty cool. And if I accomplished nothing else from that show, I'm glad that I got to say that.
Sam, watching the show with your family tonight, was this episode the first time that your mom knew that she saved your life?
Once I got back from Under the Gun, I sat down with her. I took her to lunch, and I talked about it with her. And she was like, I know that you had a really rough time. I just had no idea, and I had no idea that happened. Like, she wanted to know all these details, and I was like, listen, and like, she apologized. She kept apologizing to me, and I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? I literally just told you that you saved my life, like, without even knowing it. And not even because, like, you saw it, like, you saw me, like, running in front of a car. Like, you literally just felt something in yourself as a mother and felt like you needed to call me at that exact moment. And you stopped me from doing something. She's an incredible woman. I mean, I tell people all the time I have the best mother in the world, and they're like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Except, I mean, I guess now people understand why.
Right.
But yeah, it was an emotional conversation to have, but it made us even closer, so.
Well, that's great. It's good that's happened. Are your parents there in Boston with you?
They are around.
Okay.
I stay with my father in like Ashland right now. It's a town in Massachusetts that's sort of like 30 minutes outside of Boston.
Oh, okay.
And my mother lives in Newton.
So you see them on a regular basis. It's more so like what I was trying to say. So this could be the start of a closer relationship.
Oh yeah, definitely. Awesome. I mean, like, there have been a lot of hugs going on tonight.
Yeah, well, we've been giving you ones, from here, from afar,
virtually
all day since we were watching.
Thank you.
It was emotional for us too, because we just love you so much, and it was just so brave of you, to really open up and kind of let other people know that you just need to reach out to people, and because I'm sure so many young kids watch this show, and it's nice to just hear that they're good comes out of it, and you can really grow into an awesome person like you are.
Oh, thank you.
Sam,
that means so much.
What were some of the thoughts going through your head while you were in the workroom?
Oh, man. I mean, you guys saw, like, the other contestants, like, talking about, like, what the heck is Sam doing? Why is he reading that comic book? But, I mean, this garment to me, like, I totally did not do the challenge. At all, a little bit, but as you guys may have noticed, my garment was slightly different than everyone else's.
Loved it,
as it
though.
Always is.
Loved it.
But it was really like just conveying this emotion that I had felt, like about my mother, like just like for setting me free and like breaking all of that darkness away and like revealing, the emotion I think that was conveyed by the garment that I created, and having to go through that and like try to like figure out how best to design into an emotion like that I mean, it was really hard. Like, as Asha said, I was acting really weird that whole day just because I was really struggling with this emotion that I had really just pushed under the rug for 10 years. I mean, I was 13 when that happened. And I had really just tried to bury it and ignore those emotions because they're hard to deal with. And I cried a lot on that runway, and I cried a lot in that interview room. And I almost started crying in the sewing room. It was a lot, a lot.
But I think it's the world is better for it. Anyone that watched the show, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing to see you come out of your shell like that and really admit that you feel this way about life and that happened to you. I mean, it's beautiful to see you come from that honest place and let everyone know, because, you know, as Jamie, we were just talking about it, how Jamie Alexander, the judge, she was saying how it's great because you never know who's listening who might have gone through something like that or their family has.
Right.
So I think you embody what a superhero is, and I would say you're a new superhero.
Oh, thank you. Thank that. I mean,
second that.
As long as I get to wear Hawkeye's outfit. I'm down with that.
Yes.
And I think too, it is kind of funny because, like, I know, like how we're saying, like how you were saying you didn't really do the challenge, but if you really think about it, more so than anyone, you actually did do the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like your mom, inspiration, your superhero, your superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the fictitious characters of superhero, but like if you really look at the definition of a superhero, like courage, open, freeness, helping, you know, all these messages, like I don't know, man, I don't agree with you that you didn't do the challenge. I'm just saying.
I mean, I think it takes a lot for someone, you know, like Sam, to not only have to face that emotion, you know, personally, but then also make the decision that he's going to do it on national TV.
Right. And, you know, and just like the conversations you were having with Mondo, you know, all of that, you know, we got to see, you know, it was just really, you know, it was a breath of fresh air on this show because it's like, this is reality. Like, this is what people struggle through. It's not just the design show. Like, there's a human side to all of it. And, you know, I really loved this episode and I thought you were amazing.
Yeah, and something that we had said earlier, you know, like we kind of busted Natalia's balls a little bit because she cries a lot, but it was like that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like it was different. Like you were emoting rather than just like a nervous energy or a dramatic energy or something like that. And there really was a difference in our screening room of when she was crying, like, oh, come on, to when you were feeling something, like we were all kind of silent, which doesn't really happen a lot in our screening room.
And Sam, you know, I gotta say that in the beginning, my reaction was, you know, as you said, kind of like you didn't do the challenge, but your story, I think, is what made the outfit. You know, because looking at the other contestants and not saying that their outfits were not good, but having that story to back up what, and you know, the way you were explaining about the darkness and the drawing that you did and how, you know, it was like setting free and giving you a new life in a way, was really inspirational. And I think that it appealed to the judges because, as you know, they said every single one of them sitting up there has probably gone through something that is similar. And for the first time, you know, to see Jen, actually, she was like about to cry and in full support of you. It was just really amazing and inspirational.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Jen Raid like that. It was pretty impressive.
Well, Jen Raid was the one that got me crying because she, like, I mean, you guys saw, like, I couldn't keep my voice straight on stage. Like, I was so, like, my eyes were tearing up. And then as soon as she started talking, I just realized, like, oh my God, I might have to actually tell people it was such an overwhelming feeling. Like, I might actually have to, like, say this to explain my outfit. And I mean, you know, we see the 10 people that are on camera, but there are like 50 people in that room, and I like literally told maybe 5 people in my life. And so Jen Raid starts crying, and that's when I just completely lost it. Like, you guys saw some sniffling, but Tim Gunn literally had to get out of his chair and give me like a handkerchief because I was. It was intense. It was intense.
Now, were you expecting the all four of you guys to move forward? How did you feel about the situation? Did you think that, you know, Asha was going home, and did you think she was going to get saved? Because we did see a little bit of controversy and talk and when you guys went to the back, and how people felt like, you know, it should have been only 3 people. Why are only, you know, all 4 of you guys continuing on? Was there any talks that happened backstage amongst you guys that we didn't see? And how was your feeling and attitude towards that?
Well, and congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
Huh?
I said, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank
On to a
you,
happier
thank you.
topic.
Yeah.
What? I mean, what didn't you guys see? I think that, well, first of all, I think Shan was really tired that day. He was so tired. He was such a trooper the whole time. I mean, Michelle can tell you, like, Shan was always falling asleep. It was adorable. Like, I love Shan. Shan has been such, like, I mean, he was tweeting me tonight, and he was like, you know, screw those people who made you feel like you were worthless. Like, you're such a great guy. Shan and I had such a weird relationship on the show. There was such a weird distance, but like ever since we've been off the show, like we've really gotten to talk, and he's just a wonderful person. So even though it shows him being like, they're only supposed to be 3 people, he was so happy to have the both of us, I think, come back and be in the top.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just like a comment like, oh, dang, we're supposed to be getting rid of people. But, you know, the way that they edited it was like a little bit more of a jab. But what was the emotion in the room when you guys all realized y'all were all going to get to make your own collections?
I think the most intense emotional reaction to that was more when they said that Asha was going to be in the top. It was going to be in the finale as well. I mean, y'all saw me like freak the hell out. I was already on like an emotional crazy town journey. But Asha had been like my rock from the beginning of the competition. And when Tim Gunn told me I was in, it was really a bittersweet moment. So to be able to hear, you know, Asha's going through too, it was just so amazing. And I literally just screamed. I'm like, I felt so sorry for the microphone guy. But I think, I mean, when we got back into the room, it was just sort of like, yeah, okay, we're all going to the finals. This is great. You know?
Was there already some sort of like brainstorming going on?
You know, no.
Right. You're like, no, not really. I was just tired. I just wanted to hug and go to sleep.
I think that we were all hoping that they were going to give us a day off. They did not.
Yikes.
We went like straight into designing the collection the next day. So I think some brainstorming happened that night. But in that moment, I think we were all just so happy and so like content to be going forward. And maybe we were a little bit focused in on ourselves, but it was like a surprisingly kind of quiet moment. Very reflective, very just sort of like, you know, like, good job, everybody. Snaps up.
What do you think your favorite challenge on Under the Gun was?
Oh, man.
There's so many.
That's a good question. I mean, obviously the ones that I did well on were great.
The jumpsuit.
I'm a little bit biased towards that.
Yeah.
I actually did. I'm the kind of designer that loves, and I said it at the beginning, I love to be pushed. I love doing things that are outside of my comfort zone.
And making circle skirts.
I think, what?
And making circle skirts.
And making circle skirts, yes. Circle skirts are so fantastic. I will be launching a line of circle skirts in every color coming this fall.
You know what? I will even wear one of your circle skirts.
Oh, you will?
I would love for you to make me something.
And her birthday is October 4th, so.
Yeah. I want to be a superhero, Sam.
Okay.
Make it happen.
I'll make that happen. I will make sure that you get a circle skirt for your birthday. Like, promise.
You gotta wear it.
You gotta make it. All right.
No, don't make it long, okay?
Yeah, make
I
it a
could
short
rock
one.
a skirt if I wanted to. Just let's get it straight, y'all.
She likes to wear mini skirts when she wears them.
And Daisy
Oh,
Dukes.
goodness.
That was we'll talk off air about that. No, keep going.
All right.
Sam,
But I guess I loved the red carpet challenge. Like, I'd never done a red carpet anything. I'd never done a jumpsuit. I'd never done a pair of skinny pants in my life in 9 hours. So I guess that was probably my favorite, just because it felt the most challenging in a way.
if you could have done something differently on the show, what would it have been?
What would have?
You know, it could be
happened?
anything. You know, designing, choosing, fabric, another character, superhero. You know, what would you have done differently, and what advice would you give to future contestants, designers coming on the show?
I mean, I don't know that I would have changed a thing about my experience on Under the Gun. I had such a magical, amazing, enlightening experience. If there's anything that I maybe would have done, it might have been like take a few more risks, construction-wise, made one less circle skirt. But I don't know. I guess what I would tell like a future contestant on Project Runway is just sort of like go for it every challenge, you know, like never, like if you like think, if you're happy with your design, like push it somewhere like just a little more challenging. I mean, with even the jumpsuit in the first challenge, my initial intent was just to sort of like pleat it and be done. But I ended up doing this like theming in the front of it that unfortunately didn't really show up on television, but what you need to do, that like apparently Jen Raid was like completely in love with. You guys don't see it on the show, but the judges do get to like go up close and look at the garments. And my model was telling me like Jen Raid was like going insane over the top stitch theming that I had done on the front of the jumpsuit. So
that's good.
Like, don't be afraid to take those risks that like maybe you haven't done before, because like, you know, they pay off and you end up getting $5,000.
Nice.
Right.
So, Sam, what else is going on with you? You said you've had a lot of people reaching out to you on Twitter. You know, is there anything else fun we should know about from last time we talked?
What?
I said from the last time we talked. I know you kind of clued us into what you were doing a little bit then.
Right. So I went and I met with my business partner, and we talked about what we should do moving forward. And honestly, my first thing was like, I need to get healthy. My health is not good. I'm not going to go into it much more than that, but it's not particularly good. But the other thing was like, you know, we need to like figure out how to do this. So right now I'm organizing with a former teacher of mine who really knows. I'm actually driving to her house right now.
It's right there.
Finished the episode, and, you know, am driving to her house, which is like 20 minutes north of New York City. So it's been a really great night. But yeah, so she's going to help me over the summer develop like a capsule collection for either fall or spring. And we're going to see where that goes. She's going to help me talk to some buyers. She's incredibly smart woman. Her name is Soraya Park, or Soraya Carson, which is what her business is under. I think actually particularly Emma, you would love her stuff. Like love.
You got to tweet me her info.
I will definitely do so. She's just an amazing designer, and when I was at Parsons, I really struggled finding like a teacher who, you know, I really connected with, because I was so into, you know, creating just really wearable, beautiful things, and that's not how Parsons likes their designers. So she was that kind of designer, and she really has helped me out a lot. And she's taught me a lot. She's the one who's taught me all the textile stuff. So yeah, I'm driving to her house right now.
So any plans of coming to LA to design or collaborate over here?
Oh my God! Obviously, I'm gonna go and design something with Michelle. Hello.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Well, you can find her at AfterBuzz Studios, okay?
Michelle is going to teach me how to make leggings. That's apparently what she does now. She teaches the Under the Gun former contestants how to make leggings.
I feel like...
Is this true? You've taught more people about leggings?
Yeah, I taught Natalia how to make leggings.
Oh.
That's funny.
Michelle, like you should literally just make a list of like what you taught Natalia how to do. Love you, Natalia. Sorry.
No, it's so funny. Like, I would make leggings, and everyone would be like, "What? You just went in there and made them in 10 minutes?" And I was like, "You guys, this is leggings. We're not like."
Okay, you're gonna need to teach us all how to make some leggings.
Yeah, we should have like a class.
Yeah.
So Sam will bring the circle skirt. You bring the leggings.
Yeah.
I got the t-shirts.
Oh my God.
All right, we got a lot.
Michelle,
Yeah.
we are going to have the most fabulous combination. We should like find a way to combine a circle skirt and leggings. That would be the most heinous garment ever created.
Oh my God. Well,
We're gonna have
You know someone would wear it. Someone would wear it, and someone would probably wear it next week at Coachella.
Hey, you should give it to Stef Z to showcase it off at Coachella next week. I
No.
think you will have a lot of customers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think you want me to rock that. I don't want to do it right. Wait, you said you're going to New York? Are you there a lot? You going a little bit north of New York?
Not really. I'm not such a New York girl. I tend to avoid New York.
What?
I know, I'm terrible. I know that. Well, so here's the thing. I love Brooklyn. I love how saturated it is with like lesbians and people who don't speak English. Like that is my kind of New York.
There's a lot of those places here in LA.
Well, maybe I'm just like honestly like maybe I just need to move to Silver Lake. That's what I've heard.
Yes.
One of
Yeah,
my
that's the artsy town. That's the artsy town.
Exactly. So maybe I'm just like missing that in my life, and I need to get on it. One of my friends who's actually he's like big on YouTube. His name is his YouTube name is Davey Wavy, but I know him by his actual name. He just moved there, and I tried to get Michelle in contact with him because he needs a sample of like underwear made. And so I contacted Michelle, and do you guys know who Davey Wavy is?
No. Wait, Davey Wavy?
No. He's pretty gay. Love the guy pieces, but he's pretty gay. But the joke on the show on Team Mondo was always like, "Oh my God, we are way too gay for Michelle." And so I sent Michelle this guy's info, and she was like, "What kind of underwear?" And I was like, "Gay underwear." And she was like, "How gay?" And I was like, "Don't watch his videos."
Wait, what is the difference between gay underwear and straight underwear? Come on. Is it more colorful?
Gay underwear doesn't have a
I don't know
butt.
if you want to know.
It doesn't have what?
It doesn't have butt coverage, obviously.
See, I wouldn't have put two and two.
All right.
I think Amanda just turned the color of her hair.
Michelle's like, "Never mind, don't need that job. Somebody else can have it."
I'm just
It's kind of like assless chaps.
yeah.
So do you need to take measurements for that, or
Okay, we're gonna
Anyway, moving on.
And on that one,
Whoa!
Sam,
Whoa!
thank you so much for calling in, Sam. We actually have to wrap up our show now. But we love you, and we absolutely appreciated this episode so much.
Yeah, and keep in touch. Unfortunately, I think the finale's next week. Is that right? We don't know.
We don't know.
We
It
should
is.
know. Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be here, but...
Wait, so is the finale
No.
in one episode or 2 episodes?
It's going to be one. I think it's just the one episode for the finale.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well,
Shit.
again, thank you so much for calling in, Sam.
Bye.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I
Bye.
took a
Okay, so we got to wrap that up really
I don't know,
quickly.
but he was still talking and we didn't mean to cut him off. We love you,
Sorry,
Sam,
Sam.
so
We
much.
love you,
Keep
Sam.
in touch.
We're gonna all send Sam a hug. Oh!
Really quick. Oh, I guess we don't have time for anything.
Yeah, we do.
Emma, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter at ReallyMcKay, and also don't forget to check out gqjedi.com.
GQ Jedi?
Yes, my hat, gqjedi.com.
JQ. Okay. You guys can find me, Amanda Fields, on Twitter and Instagram at the Runway Queen.
The blushing runway queen.
Yeah.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Stef Z.
You can find me on Twitter at Uberreste, and my website is michelleUberreste.com.
Word.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Virginia Reyna. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again for calling in, Sam. Y'all have a great week.
Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.